Hey, how's it going, everybody? Scott Spreitzer here. He's Doug Upstone. We are the free version of Us Against the Spread, brought to you by DocSports.com, and we're talking about some action. MAC football on Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. Going to get to a couple of games on Wednesday, and we'll get to those in just a minute. First, I want to talk a little bit about Us Against the Spread, which is available over at usagainstthespread.docsports.com. It is a subscription site. It is a newsletter, if you will, audio-video newsletter. And we're going to be, again, this weekend talking about all the college football, well, not all the college football games, but about 8 to 10. And we'll have our money shot, and we'll have our sexy dog of the week that we take from the sports books, basically, and talk about the biggest, sexiest, most marquee dog and game that we can find. So about 8 to 10 college football games. That show will be available on Thursday evening. Then, of course, on Friday evening, the NFL Us Against the Spread show, which covers every Sunday football game and Monday Night Football. And Doug, I know last week you had a very nice week, which makes, I don't know, about 58 in a row over at Us Against the Spread, which is amazing because we've only had about 8 shows.
Right. Yeah. For that standpoint, for sure. Yeah. It was really good. 9-2 overall for week 10. So I honestly wish that I would play all these plays, okay, for the premium plays, but can't do both from that standpoint. So anyway, so we move ahead with that. But yeah, 37-18 on all picks the last 3 weeks, Scott. And as you said, it's not that big of a number, but I have not had a losing week now in 6 weeks in the NFL. And in the last month, I'm blazing 33-13 in the NFL. So that's just been fantastic. And I'm trying to emulate you. I went 2-0 in money shots last week. So that was good to announce. And then also so that puts me up to 10-5 or 10-5-1 the time that we've had the show. What about you, Scott?
That's pretty good then. I only went 1-1 last week with my money shots, but I'm 5-1 the last 3 weeks. And I'm 9-4-1 with my money shots overall. Which means that's what, 19-9 with a couple of pushes, better than 67% against the spread if you combine our money shots records. Did not have as good of a week as you did last week on Us Against the Spread, but we're still sitting at 81-60. So nice, profitable season thus far with Us Against the Spread. And of course, all of our exclusive plays, which are the plays rated 1-star all the way up to 8-star for Doug and I, are both found on our individual pages over at DocSports.com. That's where all the exclusive plays are. And I wanted to mention real quickly that I got off to a 4-1 start this week. We swept basketball and NHL. I lost with the Bills on Monday, but 4-1 overall. And the college basketball run is about $10 away from being up over $13,000 going back to last year. And then the NBA run is up $15,775. It's been a nice little run here. Those daily props. I didn't have one on Tuesday. May have one on Wednesday. We're cutting this video on Tuesday, early evening, late afternoon. But we swept on Monday, 2-0 with daily props in the NBA. I'm now hitting. I brought my props to Doc Sports back in first week of September. And now in NBA and NFL combined, which is the two places I do props, we're now 69% against the spread after Monday night's 2-0 with our props. So check out for those. Doug does them too. Check them out every single day. We don't have them every single day, but we do handicap and look to have them every single day. One more quick note, then we'll jump into the free games for tonight or for Wednesday night. I wanted to mention because of Thanksgiving being next week, there won't be a Tuesday free show for Us Against the Spread. However, Doug will still be doing his daily shows over Doc's YouTube channel, as will I. And of course, we will have our Us Against the Spread shows next week on Friday only. We'll have both the college Us Against the Spread show and the Friday NFL Us Against the Spread show, both on Friday evening. So you can check that out. All right, let's get to it, Doug. Let's talk a little action on Wednesday night. We got Buffalo at Miami. You see the line right there with, we're going to go with Ohio first. Okay, Ohio laying 11, total 46.5 in this one over Central Michigan. And I will say this, that this Curtis Rourke for the Ohio Bobcats, he's had one bad game in MAC play this year, just one. That was that game a few weeks ago against Northern Illinois when he threw 3 interceptions. You take that game against the Huskies out of the mix, I don't know, maybe he stubbed his toe in the shower before the game or something like that, because you take that one out of the mix and he's got 8 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions in his other 5 MAC games. And then, of course, Central Michigan, they give up over 30 points in 7 of 10 games this year. They're 120th against the pass. They're giving up about 264 passing yards per game. Secondary has faced 317 passes. They have 5 picks. That's less than a 2% pick rate. And they're not good against the run. So what am I trying to say here? CMU is not too hot on defense. Having said all of that, the offense, well, they're okay on the ground, but can't rely on any kind of a passing game whatsoever. Jace Bauer is inaccurate. He's a 57% passer. His backup is like 51 or 52%. Feel like I'm talking about Nebraska's quarterback room. Ohio's defense, I think, takes care of business in this one. They're the best team in the conference. Hard to lay double digits, though, when you have an offense as anemic as the Ohio Bobcats. It's the defense that wins games most often, solid in the red zone on defense. They've got a really good pass rush. So after talking about how bad CMU's pass defense is, Doug, I'm going to stay with the under here. I think it stays under 46.5.
Okay, yeah, I like that play, because that's a really interesting point. And I, when we've been looking at these MAC games the last 3 weeks, and so my curiosity was piqued when I was doing a little research on this game. Like I said, the Bobcats, to me, they're a little bit disappointing this year. Yeah, they're 7-3. Like you said, their defense is fantastic, giving up 15.1 points per game. And, Curtis O'Rourke has been good, but if you look at his numbers this year compared to last year, there's just no comparison. Now, he came off an injury. I'm sure that has impacted him to whatever degree. But in the greater scheme of things, kind of thinking about the MAC here. So I went and did a little research. So I'm a little off topic on this, and I apologize. But I think it just kind of goes to the point as to what this league's been about this year. When you look at the national stats of the MAC, okay, quarterback play matters a lot. We know that across the board and everything. And years ago, the MAC actually used to have some pretty good quarterback play. And it's not that many years ago. And I know, Scott, you'll agree. I mean, MACtion games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays were fun to watch because every game was 35-31, whatever, from that standpoint. So I looked a little bit here. MAC team, the first one to show up in the national stats is Toledo at 63rd. Okay, that's the highest ranked passing attack in the MAC. Then you go over to look at the offensive line play. The top running team is Toledo at number 7. After that, it drops all the way down to 53rd for the Western Michigan. So why are MAC games low scoring? Okay, sort of kind of boring. Okay, right now. Well, it's because not very good quarterback play, not very good offensive line play. So that's what the problem is. So to your point, Scott, under makes a lot of sense. I have to agree with you there. I'm going to just have a lean with Ohio. I just think that Central Michigan's defense is so poor. Ohio averages 28 points per game. Western Michigan gives up 28 points per game. Let's go. I'm going to go with Ohio U minus the points.
And that's what it was for me. It was do I like Ohio U more or do I like the under more? And I went with the under. So as far as the side is concerned, definitely an opinion on the Ohio Bobcats. Yep. Let's turn to the next game. It's Buffalo at Miami, Ohio, again on Wednesday. You see the line there. Miami laying about 8.5 in this one. Miami 8-2, playing well. Buffalo, well, not so much. One of the worst offenses in college football. They can't run the football. The slight positive about the Buffalo Bulls, Doug, they don't give up a ton of passing yards. However, there is a but. It might be because you can run all day and night on this Buffalo Bulls defense. You don't have to pass. Miami's offense, nothing special. In fact, they're mediocre and in some cases bad. They're bad in the passing game. But the defense wins games. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, the Bulls actually were very competitive last week. They outplayed Ohio U overall for the game, but they only had a 3-0 lead at halftime and got outscored 20-7. And Ohio U got a late touchdown to win and cover that game, which was 9. Now Buffalo's, I'm going to say competitive in the conference. They're 3-3 straight up and against the spread. But when you look a little bit closer, there are 4 teams in the MAC that have winning records. They have played 3 of them. And against those 3 teams, they are 0-3 straight up and against the spread. They're going to play the 4th team this week. The Redhawks have had a really good year, 8-2 straight up and against the spread. And they have, I'm not going to say significant, but noticeable edges on both offense and defense. Miami's offense, not explosive, as Scott said. But from this standpoint, I'm looking at in their 10 games they have played this year, they are 10. The straight up winner of a Miami game is 10-0 straight up and against the spread. And in this series, most recently, the home team is 6-0 straight up and against the spread. Give me Miami minus the 8.5.
Good stuff. I'm going to pass that game and let you fly solo there. But again, under on Ohio and Doug's going to go with Miami and the Ohio Bobcats on Wednesday's max slate. Don't forget to check out our homepages over at DocSports.com. Daily plays over there, NHL, college basketball, NBA, daily props, all the good stuff. And of course, Thursday, we'll all be releasing our football plays for the entire weekend, as I like to call it, Football Thursday at DocSports.com. College and pro football plays all 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That would be 5 days. Boy, you said there'd be no math. Anyway, that's what's going on over at DocSports.com. Check out my Wednesday plays. It looks like I'm going to have a high-end play in college basketball on Wednesday's card. For Doug Upstone, I'm Scott Spreitzer. We are Us Against the Spread, brought to you by DocSports.com. Let's put them in the win column, everybody.